Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for the Sunday morning session on the journey of self-discovery. So before we begin our session, let's offer our prayers to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Ki Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. So today we're going to continue our discussion on a very interesting topic which we began in our previous session. Who is Krishna? Right? It's actually a lecture which Prabhupada had given in London in 1973 in front of the august audience. And also in the audience was the High Commissioner from India was participating. So Prabhupada in this wonderful talk going to reveal about the truth about Krishna and the goal of life. Right? Very, very interesting talk. So all these discussions are happening by the inspiration of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, who has so mercifully and kindly given us these teachings in the form of books and recordings, that we can even now read them, access them, and get the complete spiritual benefit for our progress in spiritual life. Right? So offering our gratitude to Prabhupada, let's have a quick recap of what we have understood in the last session. So Prabhupada started his lecture by quoting a verse from Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna says that if you can know Krishna, his birth, his activities in truth, this will bring you to the platform of deathlessness. You see, we are going to die one day. Life is going to get finished. But Prabhupada starts his talk by telling, actually we are deathless. And Krishna is giving us a clue how to become deathless. Right? Just understanding about him, in fact, in truth, in reality, this will bring us to the platform of deathlessness. So it's an important revelation which is going to, it has to strike us. We're all deathless. So what is our identity actually? Our identity is that we are spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna. But right now, we are identifying ourselves with the body and identifying with a specific situation in which the body is staying now. So because of which we are wrongly identifying, misidentifying. But our real identification is that we are part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is eternal, Satchidananda. We are also his part and parcel. We are also eternal. So Prabhupada, with this understanding, he introduces the concept of God, actually, the understanding of God which people have. They think it is some energy or impersonal aspect working in this world. Prabhupada very clearly says, God is a person and his name is Krishna. Right? And his identity is is described in the Vedic scriptures. He is known as Adi Purusham. Sometimes people think, oh, I am born from a father. So my father is born from his father. So like that, we have this understanding, conception in the material world that everything has an origin. But with regard to God, it is mentioned that he is Adi Purusham, which means he has no origin. He is the origin of all. This is the definition of God. This is what Brahma says. Anadir Adir Govinda. He is the origin of everything and he has no other origin. Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. This is the definition, right? And Navayavanam cha. Oh, if God is the origin, he must be very old. This conception also people have. But the way the scriptures say that even though God is the oldest, his personality, his existence is always ever youthful. One more wonderful revelation. So Krishna's identity as God is not like our understanding of an ordinary person. This is the point which we have to understand. Right? He is known as Adi Purusham and Navayavanam. And all the Vedic scriptures is telling us to know God is what is the purpose of life, is the purpose of our all the various systems of education and learning, science, technology, etc., etc. Right? In the Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna says, Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedyaha. From all the Vedas, Krishna has to be known. Because the whole existence, the entire creation of whatever we see with our experience, whatever we cannot experience, and we ourselves are all actually emanating from Krishna. So understanding Krishna is the ultimate goal of education. And further, it is very nicely explained by Lord Brahma that why we have to understand Krishna, and he is the ultimate goal of education, because he is Sarva Karana Karanam. The cause that has no cause is Govinda. He is the cause of everything. Sarva Karana Karanam, but he has no cause. He is a supreme personality. In the Bhagavad Gita also Krishna mentions, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha. Which means I am that personality from whom everything is emanating. So this is the actual understanding of what is Krishna, what is God. So the Prabhupada comes back to this original point he made. In that way, the aim of life is to achieve immortality, not simply going on in the cycle of birth and death again and again repeatedly, and in different species of life, wandering in this whole universe or different universes. This is not going to have any perfection of our life. So aim of life should be Tamasima Jyotirgamaya Mrityoma Amrutam Gamaya. That is the aim of life. Achieve the Amrutattva, immortality. So while discussing this point, Prabhupada also pointed out one short mention of the High Commissioner of India was there, which he was mentioning about peace. So Prabhupada mentions about the peace formula which Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna mentions. Right? People are always wanting peace in the present day context because so many wars are going on, so many unnecessary fights are going on all over the world. So everybody wants peace. Right? So Prabhupada explains from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says three things as peace formula. First thing is when you understand Krishna as a supreme enjoyer, right? Because he is the creator of everything. He is from him only everything has emanated. So he is the enjoyer. And he is the proprietor of everything, right? And he is the well-wisher of everyone. He is a supreme enjoyer, supreme proprietor, he is a supreme well-wisher. If these three things we know, this is God's identity, Krishna's identity, then you become very peaceful. The whole misunderstanding of people about their existence and God's existence is what is creating a lot of disharmony. So further Prabhupada explains, Krishna gives very simple formula to make us understand this aspect of his existence, his knowledge, by practicing some simple things. Krishna says, Man manabhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. He says, just become my devotee. You just worship me. Just think of me. Offer your respects to me. Then Krishna assures that you will know me fully and you will come back to me. This is the formula Krishna is giving. From here, we'll continue our discussions of what Prabhupada would want to say in the talk. So Prabhupada talks about spiritual communism. There is no difficulty in understanding Krishna and accepting Krishna consciousness. Because the whole subject matter was, we have to understand Krishna. We have to know Krishna for our immortality. So Prabhupada is making a very wonderful statement here, that there is no difficulty in understanding Krishna and accepting Krishna consciousness. It's very simple. Not that, you have to have some other qualifications or preliminary preparations to know Krishna and follow Krishna consciousness. But we'll not do it. That is our disease. Otherwise, it is not difficult at all. The problem is, we don't want to do it. That's the point. Right? The process is very simple. But we have to very seriously take it up and do it. That's the point. So here, Prabhupada always wanted to tell us, the whole purpose of our material existence is because we have forgotten Krishna. We don't have that consciousness that I am part and parcel of God, Krishna. My duty is this, my plan is to align with the plan of Krishna. These basic things we have forgotten. So, Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj used to always say that there is nothing which is lacking in this material world or shortage in this material world. Only thing which is lacking is people are not God conscious or Krishna conscious. Krishna conscious meaning about what is actually my real bearing, my existence, what is this reality, what is the truth about my life, is the point. So the problem is we don't want to accept. That's the difficulty. Otherwise, things are very simple. As soon as we become a devotee of Krishna, we understand the whole universal situation. Yasmin vijnate sarvam evam vijnatam bhavanti. Vedic scriptures say, because Krishna means everything and everything is Krishna. Just knowing Krishna, the way Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, over, you become a devotee. You can understand the whole universal situation. Our Bhagavata philosophy, our God conscious philosophy, is also a kind of spiritual communism, because we regard Krishna as the Supreme Father and all living entities as sons of Krishna. This is what Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. He says, I am the father of all living entities. Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam yonir mahad brahmaham bija pradapita. He says, I am the father. He is Supreme Father. He is Supreme Well-Wisher. He is Supreme maintainer. So just like in our understanding of our existence here, a government is supposed to maintain the citizens for whatever necessities they need, basic necessities, what they need. Right? So likewise, we are all Krishna's sons. Krishna is our father. So he has he maintains us. Just like Prabhupada gives an example of so many animals in the depth of the jungles in Africa, South America. How all of them are getting their food, shelter, all necessities of life. Nobody is going and providing them, right? Whereas in our case, we are struggling hard to earn the necessities of life and wanting to see that people are getting all the necessities of life. But already Krishna's arrangement is so wonderful that things are going on. Even in our case, we need not struggle, but we are out of ignorance, we are struggling. And Krishna says, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the proprietor of all planets. Right? This we understood in the peace formula topic when we were discussing. Krishna says, I am the master of all planets. I am the proprietor. I am the owner of all the planets. Therefore, whatever there is, either in the sky or in the water or on the land, it is all Krishna's property. Right? So nobody can say that, oh, this is my land, my country. People say this. But actually speaking, everything is Krishna's property, God's property. So Prabhupada is giving us one more perspective of who is Krishna. When we see this world around us, you should immediately get this understanding: it is Krishna's world, it is Krishna's property. And because we are all sons of Krishna, every one of us has the right to use our father's property. This is the point. Right? All of us belong to this, rather, we all are connected to Krishna. It's like in a house, father having 5 children, 5 sons. Everybody has equal right for the apportionate share of the property as per the inheritance law. Right? So everybody, father wants that everybody should be maintained. Everybody should be getting their due share in the property what he has. So because we are all children of Krishna, Father Krishna is our father. So in his whole kingdom, in his whole existence, all of us have right to live. All of us have our duty to do. That's the point. So Prabhupada says, all of us are right to use father's property, but we should not encroach upon others. That is the formula for peace. Right? But point is, you have to understand what is the allotted property for me, what is the allotted resources for me, and do not encroach, do not encumber upon another's property. So this is formula for peace. So Prabhupada is continuing that line of thought about peace formula again. There is a statement from one Upanishad called Ishopanishad. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchi jagatya jagat ma grida kasyasvit dhanam. Everything belongs to God. Since you are sons of God, you have the right to use your father's property. Very important. But do not take more than you need. That is punishable. Very simple understanding. Right? Just now we understood in the previous discussions that everything belongs to God. God says, I am the proprietor of everything. And we are all sons of God. Aham bija pradapita. Krishna says, I am the father of all entities. So we have the right to use father's property. But I should only use what is allotted to me, what is assigned to me, designated to me. More using will be subject to punishment. If anyone takes more than he needs, then he's a thief. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. We don't recognize Krishna's way of working and want to do things on our own, then we are actually a thief. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Whatever we do, we should do it for the satisfaction of Krishna. We should act for Krishna. We should do everything for Krishna. So everything belongs to him. Right? That is how you can be free from the bondage of action-reaction cycle. It's called yajna. Right? Anything you do, we should do it for Krishna's satisfaction. That is called yajna. We should act for Krishna. That is what we are teaching here. Prabhupada says about the devotees who are all part of the organization. What we are teaching devotees here? We are teaching this only. That everything we do, everything we act for Krishna. Because that is what we are supposed to be doing. In this temple, we are all residing happily. Americans, Indians, Englishmen, Canadians, Africans, people from all different parts of the world. You know that. So Prabhupada never discriminated in terms of nationality, color, creed. Prabhupada's vision was universal, as per Krishna's understanding in Bhagavad Gita. Right? All of us are sons of Krishna, and this world belongs to Krishna. Just that we have made demarcation. Right? This is India, this is America, this is China, and we are different, you are different. We want to make our country great. You get lost from this country. Like this, many, many rules, regulations we have made. From Krishna's perspective, for him, this whole world is one place for all of us. So this sort of demarcation and separating ourselves as different people and wanting to dominate on others, this is not what Krishna wants us to do here. The whole problem of this world presently is each one want to dominate on other person, individually, collectively, nationally, internationally, because of which there is a lot of fights, wars going on. Right? So Prabhupada is bringing out that important point, how in our organization, Prabhupada says, we have devotees from different nationalities. All of them are living very peacefully. because they have Krishna as the center. It is like that not only in this temple, but wherever people are Krishna conscious throughout the world. Krishna makes his advent to teach this lesson. Excuse me. So the point is, if you have Krishna at the center, and if your whole goal is to satisfy Krishna, any part of the world you live, the center is Krishna. And Krishna is only worship. Krishna is being satisfied. That is the purpose of life. And Krishna is again and again adventing or appearing as avatara to teach this important message. Right? So Prabhupada now speaks about what is happening in the present day context, in the current affairs. People are all busy with mundane politics and diplomacy. So this philosophy which Krishna has come to teach us, and he has taught us in Bhagavad Gita, repeatedly he is sending his representative to teach us, we are forgetting. So when we forget this philosophy of Krishna's supremacy, Krishna as Supreme Father, Krishna as the Supreme Proprietor, Krishna as the Supreme Enjoyer, Krishna as Supreme Friend of everyone. If this philosophy we forget, we are not Krishna-centric, rather our center is something else, self-centered or extended self-centered. Then what happens? Prabhupada says, when you forget this, then we come into this material world and struggle for existence, fight with one another. This is material life. Very simple definition. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhoga vanchakare. Right? When we want to forget Krishna and want to have an independent existence other than Krishna, then what happens? We are put into this material world. It is like this. We are all citizens of this nation. Right? As citizens, we are supposed to be law-abiding people, following all the rules, regulations as given by the government. So the moment we don't want to follow or we violate the laws, then we are subject to punishment. Right? So the punishment means, depending on the severity of the violation of the law, you are either penalized, or you may have to also go to jail, imprisonment. So this jail is this material world. Krishna wants us to be very happily situated in the spiritual world. But when we forget Krishna's position, we want to become independent of Krishna, then we are sent to this material world, which is actually a prison house. And we are going to go on in this prison house, going through different terms of imprisonment in different bodies. Right? And here, what is happening? Struggle for existence, fight for another, competition. Everybody wants to be God, Krishna. So, like this, the talks, the peace proposals, and lot of discussions, debates go on. Prabhupada says, when you are in the material world, nothing can relieve you. Through our politicians, diplomats, and philosophers, all big talks happen. But everybody is missing this important point that we are Krishna is Supreme Proprietor, Enjoyer, Well-wisher, is Supreme Father. This point is lacking. So they have tried so much, but actually nothing they have tried has become fruitful. All the great personalities whom we know in this material world as scientists, philosophers, politicians, diplomats, economists, all are trying hard, but nothing has come out successful. And even Prabhupada says there was a big institution known as United Nations established. It was organized after the Second Great World War. And they wanted, we shall now settle everything peacefully. Right? Now that we have set up this big organization, but even now there is no peace. So Prabhupada is trying to point out that aspect of how to achieve peace in the material world. When we understand Krishna's real existence, about his supremacy, about his real enjoyment, about his being the maintainer of everybody, well-wisher of everybody, then we can attain real peace. Otherwise, we'll always be in different, say, isolated pockets and go on thinking we are supreme, we are great. The center is lacking. Krishna's center is lacking in the present context. But there is no such thing. The fighting is going on between Pakistan and India, or between Vietnam and America. This or that. With one, somebody was telling me recently how there are at least 25 to 30 wars going on, small and big, some known, some unknown, all over the world. Which means not that we have established United Nations and all of us are endeavoring for peace, wars have stopped. No, there's always wars going on. One is the physical fight with military, artillery, all these things. And one more new wars have started. They're known as trade wars. How the powerful nations, economically powerful, are trying to wage war on other nations, developing nations. And this is something long. This is the next level of wars. You have heard of biochemical wars, right? Some virus it is left in society, so people all get affected, and that way, so many other consequences happen because of that. Like this, people have different types of waging the war in the present context, modern way. So wars are always there. Why war? Because I am supreme, I am dominating, I am to enjoy. I want to show people that I am the maintainer of everybody. So this mundane politics, diplomacy, and philosophy will not help us to achieve peace. This is not the process. Mundane philosophy or diplomacy or politics is only concerned about me and mine. There is no Krishna in the whole discussion. That's the problem. But the solution is that the process is Krishna consciousness. Everyone has to understand this point, that we are not proprietors. The actual proprietor is Krishna. That's a fact. Whether you accept it or not, it's a different matter. But truth is truth. This is the existential truth. I may close my eyes and say there is no sun today, risen. Please go out and see. Sun has risen with full power and is shining the whole, all of our existence here. So if you lock up yourself in a dark room and say there is no sun, that is our ignorance. So Lord Prabhupada is telling here, the fact remains that Krishna's position is this. He is the supreme proprietor, he is the supreme enjoyer, he is the supreme well-wisher. So this point you have to understand. You cannot escape this point. So Prabhupada gives example now. Take America, for example. Say 200 years ago, the European immigrants were not the proprietors. Right? America was discovered, say 500 years ago. Before that, it was some other, it was like practically a vacant land with few Native Americans there, aborigines staying there. So somebody else was the proprietor, and before that, somebody else was the proprietor, or it was vacant land. But actual proprietor is Krishna. So it's a very simple, logic way to understand. When somebody says, "Oh, this is my land now," Americans are claiming this is our land. All the people who are illegally staying here as immigrants, they should be deported. First of all, this land doesn't belong to you also. You are also immigrants at one point of time. And now, after you come here and you're making new laws, actually the whole land belongs to Krishna. Just see the world perspective which Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita. So the current affairs of the material world can be properly understood from the teachings of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, we'll always be in a state of perplexity and confusion. What is happening? Why so many Indians were recently deported from America? Why countries are talking about immigration policy and so many other strict rules, regulations? Why one country doesn't want to allow other country people inside? What is happening? Because of lack of this understanding that we are part and parcel of Krishna. We all belong to Krishna. This understanding is lacking. Everybody is thinking that I am born in this country, I belong to this country, my country is great. Right? This is called Dehatma Buddhi, or the bodily conception of life. This is how the animals think. And this thinking is become common even in the human society now. Right? So this is the problem. So Prabhupada always point out this major defect in the modern day society. So the land which Americans are claiming is theirs now, it was not theirs a few hundred years ago. Somebody else was the proprietor, but actually Krishna is the proprietor. Hmm. Artificially, we are claiming it is my property. This is called Maya, illusion. Right? So, what is our situation presently? In whatever way we think, oh, this is my house, this is my property, this is my country, this is my so many things, me and mine. I'm trying to give proprietorship of many aspects in my life. That is not actually mine. The illusion, Prabhupada says. Hmm. So with this, Prabhupada is going to explain to us what is real dharma, what is manufactured dharma. So when this misunderstanding is prevalent in the society, Krishna makes advent to give us this lesson. Which lesson? That you are not the proprietor, you are not the enjoyer, you are not the well-wisher of everybody. Krishna is the well-wisher. It is called, when this misunderstanding comes, it is called adharma. Dharmasya glani, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna comes to correct this situation. Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. My dear Arjuna, I come when there are discrepancies in the process of religious life. So what is the discrepancy? Dharmic life means to understand Krishna and live our life as per the plan of Krishna, Supreme God. But we make our own plans, our own way of governance, our own way of leading a life, then that is going to create dharmasya glani, or disturbance, the discrepancy in the process of Krishna's plan. That's why Krishna comes. And what is real dharma? Real religious life? Prabhupada explains. The simple definition of dharma is dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Real religious life is that which is enunciated directly by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the definition of dharma. Very wonderful definition. Religion is not something which is manufactured at our home, right? Or we come together, a group of people, and we formulate some new rules, and that becomes religion. No. Religion means the order given by Krishna, because he is supreme authority. It is his kingdom. It is his existence. So what rules he makes constitutes what is known as dharma. Now, Prabhupada very nicely explains further with examples. Religious life is that which is initiated directly by Supreme Lord. For instance, what do you mean by civil law? Civil law means the word given by the state. Right? Any law, what you see in the government, this is the government, state government has given the law for us, which we have to follow. You cannot make civil law at home. It is not possible. Right? All of us are guided by or governed by certain laws, regulations, which we have to follow, even in an ordinary course of life. And these laws are not made at our home. Whatever the government gives you, you should act like this. Right? There's the law for GST, which you have to follow. Now with the new budget, there are some new income tax laws. And there's some waiver of income tax, which you have to pay. So government keeps making new laws as and when the things are going forward with the time, so that every citizen has to follow. Right? That is what we understand from our common man understanding. Similarly, dharma, religious life, means the direction given by God. That is dharma. Very simple definition. Right? If you create some dharma, or I create some dharma, or another man creates another dharma, they are not dharma. They are called adharma. Right? I have one type of a life I want to do. Say in our ordinary life, if you violate the law, what is established by the government, you may escape that for some time, but not all the time. Sooner or later, you will be cracked down, and you will be caught and punished. Or you may say, okay, maybe God, you say religion is dharma means law given by God. So where is God seeing? Right? At least government, there are some police, some judicial systems are there, check and balance things are there. So I should be responsible. With God's law, where God is seeing, I cannot see God, somebody may say. And I go on doing whatever I want. Whatever I manufacture is dharma. That is wrong. Right? So we'll see how Prabhupada explains this further. And this the whatever you manufacture in your own way, that is not dharma, that is adharma. Therefore, Krishna ends the Bhagavad Gita by saying, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. The so-called dharmas which you have created, hmm, my nation dharma, my community dharma, my family dharma, all you have concocted. So Prabhupada says, just give up all your concocted ideas about dharma and surrender unto me. Concocted means you have imagined, you have manufactured, you cooked up something in your mind. This is my duty. Dharma basically means duty. Hmm. So this is dharma, surrender to Krishna. Any other dharma is not dharma. Very simple definition Krishna is giving in Bhagavad Gita. Dharma means the injunctions, orders given by God. And what is God ordering in Bhagavad Gita? Give up everything and surrender to me. Surrender to Krishna is the real dharma. Any other dharma is not dharma, it is adharma. Right? Otherwise, why does Krishna ask, Sarva dharman parityajya, give it all up? Because he says, he knows all these various different happenings in the present context is all because of adharma. We have made our own rules, regulations, and trying to follow that. We have concocted ideas of happiness in our own way. So for this reason, Krishna comes every now and then. He has said already, in every age, I make my advent. Sambhavam yuge yuge. Why? To dharma samsthapanarthaya, to establish the principles of religion. Krishna comes. And at last he says that we should give up the so-called religious principles that we have manufactured. Right? In some countries, they follow communism. Some countries, they say we don't follow any religion, we are secular. This is all concocted, manufactured ideas. It's not going to really help them, not going to really. The whole purpose of life is to come to the point of immortality. We have to become immortal for the cycle of birth and death. That is not in picture at all. People are all busy in their own temporary 70, 80 years of life and think that, oh, this is what everything is. Let us work hard. Let us make future better. No, your future will be better, but you will not be there to experience the future. That's the point. So the fact of life we have to understand from Bhagavad Gita's teachings and not simply concoct some system of understanding with regard to how to conduct our life, what is life, right? So Krishna says, all this nonsense concocted ideas, please give up and then just surrender to me. So all these man-made principles are not actually religious principles. So-called dharmic principles we think is ours, what we made is what is correct. It's not proper. So Prabhupada says man-made principles, different rules, regulations. Nowadays, in the name of religion, there's so much cheating going on. Real dharma, real religious life means what is given by God. Right? You may say or profess to belong to a specific religion, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Sikhism, so many things. The central point of any religious system is to understand God, to know God, and follow what God says. That is real religious principles, real religious life. So, because this understanding is lacking, we have become so sophisticated, so educated that we are questioning whether God exists, whether what is God? Oh, God is all imagination. It's all because we want to have somebody or someone to fear for. So we are created a God or manufactured a God. Right? Like this, This is what right now the present situation of present society is thinking. This is modern civilization's defect. Whole problem is you may think that we have made big structures, we have made elaborate arrangements of having a very wonderful, comfortable life, but very soon all this, anytime it will crumble. We have experienced this during the pandemic, COVID, a few years ago. How we had all arrangements with us, but everything collapsed. Nothing could save us, right? So this is what is going to happen. You may be running and rushing with regard to your own ideas, concocted plans with regard to how to become happy, how to lead my life. But all these things is not going to really save you, help you. This is the modern civilization's defect. So Prabhupada is going to make a very wonderful point now. Now, what is the solution? Awakening the dormant Krishna consciousness. What is this? Prabhupada explains. But the order is there, God is there. It is simply that we don't accept. Right? So the fact remains the fact. Truth remains the truth. Right? What the way Krishna has created this world is all going on. Right? These things will continue. Whether you accept or don't accept, it's left to you. Right? If you accept, it is good for you. If you don't accept, you'll again go on in cycle of birth and death. So where is the possibility of peace? Everything is there, ready-made, but you won't accept. That's the problem. Right? Krishna has made all arrangements. He comes himself, personally he comes, and he is personally giving us instructions. He sends his representatives. He does all these facilities for us, for our deliverance. But we, unfortunately, don't want to accept. Prabhupada is lamenting this aspect. Everything is made, they are ready-made, but we won't accept. Right? You are hungry, and somebody has cooked a nice meal for you, offered to Krishna and giving you prasadam, eat. You're telling, no, I don't want to eat, but you remain hungry. This is the situation right now. Right? All instructions with regard to how to conduct in this material world is all available in Bhagavad Gita. Just that we have to accept that. So what is the remedy for our disease? We're searching after peace. We won't accept the very thing that will actually give us peace. That is our disease. So we are simply looking for some solution with our own manufactured way of working, some concoctions we are making. Oh, this will make us peaceful, this will make us happy, this will make us wonderful in our life. All that we're trying to do, but all of them have proved a big failure. Right? United Nations, before that League of Nations. So many endeavors are going on. There's so many organizations around the world to maintain peace, but nothing is working out. We don't want to accept the fact, truth, what is given in Bhagavad Gita. That is our disease. Right? Therefore, this Krishna consciousness movement is trying to awaken the dormant Krishna consciousness in everyone's heart. So, Prabhupada has established this organization as an intervention in the present society, so that people can take note of this. Intelligent people can at least understand the philosophy of this wonderful movement. Awaken their Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means the consciousness of the soul. Right now, the consciousness of the soul is sleeping with regard to his true identity. Right now, the consciousness is polluted with regard to understanding that I am this body, bodily connections are mine, this country belongs to me, this whole existence is for my enjoyment, this understanding. Right? So, whereas the consciousness of Krishna, God is there in us, it has to be awakened. And the formula Krishna has given, we discussed. We have to follow the process of remembering Him, worshipping Him regularly, nicely, then it will awaken. Just that we have to follow this, that's all. Simple process, no difficulty. So the solution lies in awakening our dormant Krishna consciousness. So just consider, 4 or 5 years ago, these Europeans and Americans had never even heard of Krishna. So how are they now taking Krishna consciousness so seriously? People, Prabhupada went to the Western countries. He began his movement from America, 1965. Right? These Westerners didn't even know about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita philosophy, Hare Krishna mantra, nothing. But Prabhupada single-handedly went and convinced them about the philosophy of life, philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. And they have taken it up and they are realizing it. So Prabhupada says, if you want to taste, if you want to know, just, oh, this pudding is very wonderful, very nice. So the whole point of pudding glorification is that when you taste it, actually you get the taste of the pudding. So Prabhupada gave the taste of what is Krishna consciousness to the Westerners by his personal example, by practically teaching them and showing them how to conduct our life. Right? So this is what we can see in the society of ISKCON Hare Krishna movement. So Krishna consciousness is already there in everyone's heart. It simply has to be awakened. Not that Prabhupada has brought some new type of understanding, a new concoction from somewhere. No. One very important point we have to see here, observe here. Everybody, as sons of God, we are all conscious of God, conscious of Krishna. Right now, it is forgotten by our own concoctions, by our own manufactured ways of life. So Prabhupada gave a means, gave a path, gave a direction, how to awaken this original consciousness, which is called Krishna consciousness. Right? So this is how the Krishna consciousness movement grew. And this awakening process is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kavunaya Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karaya Udaya. So Krishna consciousness is dormant or it is present. It is present inertly. Just a proper situation, proper atmosphere of proper hearing about Krishna will awaken this consciousness of Krishna. Love for Krishna, devotion for Krishna is within everyone's heart, but we have right? The same love for Krishna is being, I love my country, I love my this, I love my that. Just like nowadays in every town, every city, there's a big board, I love this city, right? So people have this loving propensity, but it is being misused, misdirected. That's the problem. Where from this loving propensity is coming? It is coming from our love to Krishna. But because we have forgotten Krishna, we're trying to repose that love on so many other material objects. And finally, what is the result? Because we have misused or misdirected our loving propensity, we are always ending up with frustration, disappointment, confusion, bewilderment, and most importantly, continuation of our existence in the material world. Sooner we redirect that loving propensity to Krishna, then everything will be in a proper shape. Everything will be properly aligned. So Prabhupada came to teach this wonderful philosophical understanding to all of us. So this Krishna consciousness movement is simply meant for awakening that dormant love by giving everyone a chance to hear about Krishna. That is the process. The process is also very simple. Just you have to hear. Chant Hare Krishna and hear. Read Bhagavad Gita, means you are hearing. It's like sessions are connected for what? For you to hear. For you to know. Hearing means you will know, oh, this is what the fact is. Unless you hear, how will you know? Right? That is the process. So we'll continue. This one more last conclusion which Prabhupada makes in this talk. We will continue. We will have that in the next session. So meanwhile, I'll open the forum for any discussions, any questions, any comments. Hare Krishna. Gupta ji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Any comments?
No, nice listening, everything, reviving whatever we have learned. That is repeat. And it is going deeper and deeper, slowly and slowly.
Very good. Just go on hearing, that's all. Hearing.
And from different angle, if you hear it, it broadens your this thing.
Rightly said. That's why you said, even though the subject is same subject, but it is told from different points of view.
No, I remember when I was young, school-going child, my mother used to read Bhagavad Gita every day.
Okay.
So once the 17th chapter, 18th chapter there. So once those were over, she would start again.
Okay.
Some prasada and then start again.
See,
So,
see.
so I used to ask,
Why?
by reading once,
Uh,
things are not clear.
mm,
And
yes.
then she would fire me, So it was very,
See, these
now we
people
realize,
know in India,
Hmm.
yeah, the culture in India repeatedly, repeat, because our condition, our thinking, our conditioning is so bad now. I don't know, we can't understand from one hearing.
One hearing is very difficult, very difficult.
Uh,
You have to,
it has to be heard
yeah,
repeatedly. Then
and
some sense will
no,
come.
each time you hear, you catch up something new.
Exactly. You're
That
right.
is
Right.
very.
Because the sound of Krishna is having all the knowledge. All
Today
the,
I learned about existence.
Mm,
You
mm.
know, existence. The universe, everything is existing, and
Yes.
this existence has come from where?
Yes. From sound.
So
Shabdadanam.
everything, name forms and
Yes.
action can vanish, but
Yes.
existence will still be there.
Exactly. Very nice. Very true.
So something is very interesting.
Very good. Very good. Nice. Fine then. So thank you, everybody. We will
Thank
continue discussions moving
thank you.
forward. Next session. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.